Per Adam Schefter,
According to my sources.
Panthers are expected to release quarterback Cam Newton today.
Okay, Cam Newton going to the Chargers. Very nice of the Carolina Panthers, who could have released him all the way up until June 1st and saved themselves $20 million, by the way, if I do recall the Cam Newton situation. They could have waited till June. Instead, they're cutting him before the draft. Both, by the way, Cam Newton and Carolina Panthers, I think it's been a little bit contentious here over the last couple months, but allowing him to seek a team and to land a deal before the draft is a very good business decision for both of them. The Chargers are now happy about that because they can explore the fact whether or not they can get Cam Newton, or they're going to have to draft Air Bear or Love or another quarterback in the first round. This is good for all parties. I'm excited to see where Cam Newton goes, because Cam Newton feels like a guy where if he has to prove himself to a whole new team, a whole new fan base, a whole new coaching staff, Cam Newton is going to rise to the occasion. Cam Newton was an MVP player not that long ago. Now, obviously, the strip sack in the Super Bowl where he didn't go for it as hard as he could have, the post-game press conference, and then a couple injuries have kind of spiraled away from that. But you drop him in a new place, in a new environment where he has to re-earn everybody's respect and trust, I think Cam Newton is going to shine. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Chargers, who knew they probably weren't going to get Tom Brady when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kind of stepped up to the plate with that $50 million fully guaranteed contract and maybe some roster control and some other stuff, even though Tom just wanted to text message everybody. I think the Chargers are going to be in play for him. Tyrod Taylor's there. Anthony Lynn likes a mobile type quarterback. Cam Newton is that guy. I'm excited for those two potentially getting together, and if not, somewhere else, especially before the draft, so a team can make a decision where they want Cam or they want to draft somebody.
So the story that came out last night was NFL physicals are indefinitely discontinued. How much harder does that, like, do teams just have to trust a personal doctor that Cam has? Any idea?
No, it would have to be, so it's just like the Buccaneers, right? The Buccaneers and Tom's agent, or not Tom's agent, Darlington, who was basically speaking for Tom's party, said that the doctors in New York, that the Buccaneers doctors cleared, could do the physical, everything's moving along. So I would assume it's doctors who know somebody in an area, who trust somebody, and say, hey, is there any way that this person can get with you to get tested? And by the way, I think with the way they could do things now, I don't know if it's FaceTime or whatever, but I think there's a lot of medical stuff done via telehealth or whatever. I would assume that whether it's the Chargers doctors or the Patriots who are maybe potentially looking into him, or another team that might look to get Cam Newton on their squad, I think it'll probably be telehealth with a doctor that they appreciate and respect. Now, am I talking completely out of my ass there? Absolutely. I could be wrong, but it feels like this is good. I'm excited about this news coming. Good for Matt Rule, who landed on Teddy Bridgewater, 3 years, $63 million deal. Then he also got P.J. Walker in there because Matt Rule coached him at Temple, so he knew about him. Now they're getting rid of Cam Newton. Cam Newton has the ability to go find another team and find another home before that team has to draft somebody. This is a win-win-win for everybody.
Win-win.
Win-win. The only person that's really losing is Cam Newton, who's definitely not going to get $21 million next year, which he would have gotten on this contract. But I assume he will get paid a certain amount of cash. That'll be good for old Cam Newton.
And this is basically what Trent Williams is asking for. Just like, hey, release me. I'm not going to play for you.
Listen,
let me go find a place.
Let's make a deal, okay? Let's make a deal. I hate you. You hate me. Let me get the hell out of here. We don't know where Cam Newton's going to go. But
FanDuel has odds on where he'll go.
Ooh.
The favorite right now is Miami at plus 210. Then Jacksonville plus 250. Then the Chargers at plus 380. Then New England at plus 600. Broncos 750. Redskins 750. Raiders 1,200. And Steelers at 2,000.
Okay, so the thought of him being in Jacksonville or Miami or the Chargers seemed to be, that's the top three odds there. I automatically said the Chargers because they need a new quarterback. Now granted, they like Tyrod Taylor, which I respect, but business-wise, they need a face of that franchise. Now, will Tyrod Taylor be it? Maybe. Maybe he'll be able to earn over their trust, the fans' trust for the next 2-3 years of success is what you'll have to have. But if the Chargers were to get Tua, who has a notable name, and it's going to be his franchise, that could potentially bring some fans. If they get Cam Newton, there's an LA guy. If I've ever seen an LA guy, Cam Newton will be able to be the face of a franchise in a positive light out there. They have to sell some tickets. Him in Miami's very interesting, though. That team's stacked up on the defensive side of the ball. If the offense can keep the ball away from the other team, Cam Newton can ground and pound that thing as well as open up it on flight. I don't know what you do with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but that's an intriguing thing. And then obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars just unloaded an $80 million contract to the Chicago Bears and Nick Foles. They got Gardner Minshew. There's a guy that would be fun to watch Cam Newton at Jacksonville Jaguars. The AFC South is wide open right now. Phillip Rivers taking on Deshaun Watson, who's quoting Drake, talking about DeAndre Hopkins and old Billy O'Brien. Then he's favoriting and liking tweets about him potentially being a Patriot in 2021. Then you got Gardner Minshew and Cam Newton down there in Jacksonville. Ryan Tannehill just got the bag in Tennessee. AFC South could be an interesting spot. But for me, the Chargers have to be where he goes. Yeah. It has to be the Chargers. If I'm the Chargers, if he's physically healthy and it seems as if he wants to go and wants to become great again, it has to be Cam Newton for the Chargers.
Yeah, definitely Chargers. And the only reason, because Jacksonville doesn't make sense to me because it seems like they're in a rebuild. They're getting rid of everyone. And if you're Cam as a free agent, I don't think you choose to go to Jacksonville to be a part of what's going on down there with potentially the worst wide receiver core in the entire NFL.
Miami, though, that's a place you could potentially want to go. It's Miami.
Uh-huh.
It's Miami. It's good times. B-Flow seems to be a guy that's very well liked by his players. They're loading up on the defensive side.
They got Jordan Howard. They got Devontae Parker. They're adding people.
And remember, Antonio Brown. That's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady. That's big news. That's big news, though, for Cam Newton. Good for him. I'm happy for him.
Big news for Cam Newton.
Big news for the Carolina Panthers, too. They've completely turned the page.
Yeah.
They're moving forward. Christian McCaffrey, Teddy Bridgewater. Let's see what we can do on the offensive side of the ball with Matt Rule for the next 7 years.